Hello everyone. How are we all doing today? We are still on marriage series. Today, I want to look at this from a different angle, and that is 5 steps to risk assessment. In my place of work, we advise a lot about risk assessment, and having looked at the 5 steps, I felt that it will actually fit in nicely in our marriages. That's why I want us to look at this from that angle today. First of all, in risk assessment, we look at hazards and obviously the risk. What is hazard? Hazard is something that may cause harm, and risk is the chance, either high or low, that somebody may be harmed. So remember, we are now looking at this in line with marriage. Number one step to risk assessment is to identify the hazards and understand what is involved. Remember that hazard is anything that may cause harm. So in our marriages, what are the hazards? Are there anything that may cause harm to our spouses? What are we doing about them? Very important. These are things that we may be taking for granted or we may be overlooking, but they are actually very important. Identify the hazards and understand what is involved. What is involved in that hazard? How does it affect your spouse? The hazards may be things like the way we behave, the way we talk, the way we carry ourselves, the group we keep. These may be some of the hazards in our marriages. So we have to identify them and understand what is involved, how it's affecting things. Is it causing problems in our marriages? What do we need to do about them? Very important. Number 2 is to decide who might be harmed and how. That's the second step to risk assessment. Understand who might be harmed and how. Obviously, on this occasion, it's your husband or your wife. How may they be harmed? Is it, again, by what we say or by what we do or by the company we keep or by us not telling them the truth or by us disrespecting them or by lack of love, lack of commitment? How may they be harmed and how? These are the number 2 things that we have to consider in our marriages. Number 3 step to risk assessment is to evaluate the risks and decide on precaution. Evaluate the risk, because if you don't evaluate it, you won't know the precaution to take. So having discussed and having identified the risks, what is causing the hazards in the marriage, you have to evaluate and then take precaution. Don't make excuses. Evaluate them, take precautions, do things that will mean that those things does not happen again. As far as you just try your best. But evaluation is very important. Remember my last video last week, I talked about 5 questions that we need to be asking each other as married couple. Those questions are not just something you ask one-off. Just like this evaluation I'm talking about now, you have to evaluate from time to time. It's not just a one-off evaluation. You have to keep evaluating. And then you have to take precaution, not just evaluating and leaving it there, but you have to take precaution, do things that you need to do. Number 4 step to risk assessment is to record your findings and implement them. No need just talking and dropping it there and moving on. Record your findings and implement them. You may want to write the things down that your spouse said so you don't forget. And then you can keep going back to them to look at them and implement them. That's, marriage is not easy. You have to make conscious effort to make it work. Both of you, not just once, it shouldn't be one-sided. Both of you have to make conscious effort to make marriage work. That's why you have to record your findings and implement them. Number 5, review your findings and update if necessary. Those things that you found, that you recorded, keep reviewing them. Review things, evaluate things, review things. So this last one is to review your assessments or review your findings. If there are things that you need to update based on your findings of things going wrong in your marriage or things not going the way they should be reviewed and updated. That way, things that were happening before will stop happening because you are reviewing them, you are updating them. If you found yourself that, oh, I'm lagging behind here again, that the only way you can be picked up is by reviewing and updating. Let us put effort in our marriages, because from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing sometimes, it's just lack of effort, lack of commitment, being too judgmental and too quick to condemn. Oh, my husband is not like your husband, he will not listen. Oh, my wife is not like your wife, she will not listen. Who told you? You don't know what goes on behind the scenes. So try and make yours work. Try as much as possible to make yours work. So let me recap on these 5 steps to risk assessment in marriage. Number 1 is to identify the hazards and understand what is involved. Number 2 is to decide who might be harmed and how. Number 3 is to evaluate the risk and decide on precautions. Number 4 is to record your findings and implement them. Number 5 is to review your assessment and update them as necessary. My priority on this channel is for marriages, family, things to work well. And honestly, if we do our bit, everyone does their own bit, and stop pointing fingers and stop saying that it's the other person's fault, things will actually work. And when you have a happy home, when you have a happy family, it radiates, it shows in your body, in your health. Your health improves as well. But when you are always unhappy in your marriage, it also tells on your health. So let us help ourselves by helping our marriages. I'm sure we have picked 1 or 2 things from today as well. I will see you again in my next one. Goodbye and God bless.